Hello, welcome back to the woods and welcome back to a video where we're going to talk about this. So a few of you may remember that a couple of years ago Hayes Outdoors did a thing called Show Us Your Steak, which was to raise awareness of men's mental health. Now this is a subject that's very close to my heart because 15 years ago I went to the doctor because I was feeling very tired. I was also had very bad mood swings. I didn't think I was depressed in any way. That's not what I went to the doctor about. It was just the tiredness. But I came away with a diagnosis of depression. And what I want to share in this video is how I cope with depression, so it might help you if you're in that boat. Now for me, my coping mechanism for coping with the stresses and strains of life was to get out into the outdoors. And what that meant for me was to get away to the hills and mountains. I'd regularly be up in northwest Scotland or Snowdonia or the Brecon Beacons, the Black Mountains, Dartmoor, all of those quite wild places. And for me, that was where I got my headspace. The problems came when I couldn't get away to those places. They tended to be quite big trips away. And because of the situation I was in, I couldn't spare the time to get away. I could do it maybe once or twice a year in the end because that was the only time that there was spare. And so that was how I gradually went into this downward spiral. So when I went to the doctors and explained that I was having issues, his answer was to write a prescription for drugs or to sign me up for therapy. There's a big waiting list for therapy, but it's very easy to sign off a prescription for drugs, which I didn't want to do. And so I looked elsewhere for a way of helping me cope with my depression. And what I found was that actually bushcraft and bush crafts was the way forward, because what I could do was go to any little area that was a little bit wild, be it a park, a bit of local woodland, wherever, and get that bit of headspace. And what I would do, and what I still do, is I turn my phone off, or stick it on air flight mode, whatever it is, so it's not going to ring, so no one can get hold of me, so I'm not interrupted, and I can just take a little bit of time out in a nice calming environment to give me that little bit of headspace. And I've found that it helps me cope really well. Also doing things like this, carving little items, making things while I'm out in the woods is really good, because when I get back home, I've got these items at home. When I don't get the time to get out, I can look at these items, stuff that I've crafted while I've been out in the woods. It makes me think back to those places. It gives me that connection to what I call woods time. So whenever I start myself feeling to get a bit stressed, a little bit, starting to go back into that rut, I think they call it dancing with a black dog. Whenever I feel myself going that way, I either get to the woods, and if I can't, I just go and look at these items, pick these items up, or sometimes I keep something like this, a little piece of willow that I've split down, and out of this I can carve myself up a little owl bookmark, a simple little project that help me cope with the ups and downs of life. The other big thing, well, you might be surprised to know it's not drinking tea, although that does cure most things. However, talking to people, don't keep it all inside. Men always have, we always try not to talk about these things. If you're British, it's the stiff upper lip thing, but don't. You need to talk to people. Check in with friends you haven't heard from for a while, because they might be going through the same thing. All of these things are part of your toolkit for helping you deal with depression. And it can happen to anybody. I'm quite a lively, upbeat chap. Very few people never realised that actually I do suffer from depression, and I know an awful lot of people, and a lot of people in the bushcraft world, who suffer in exactly the same way. They're lively, life and soul of the party. Just occasionally they find themselves dancing with a black dog. That's not such a good place to be, and that's when you need your friends and your woods time. I've been involved with the bushcraft community for quite a few years now, and it's surprising, talking around the fire, just how many of us do suffer from depression. It is important to talk to others about it. If you feel yourself a bit low, talk to somebody else. You'd be surprised at the number of people who are in the same boat. If you haven't heard from a friend for a while, pick the phone up. You never know, they might be suffering from it too. It's all about looking after each other, and it's very, very important, and it's a subject that we all should be aware of. Now, I won't say if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. What I will say is if you found this one useful, then hit the thumbs up button. Remember, you can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You will find the link in the description box down below. You will also find a link over there to my Etsy shop. You will also find a link over there to my Spreadshop t-shirt place where you can get a Woods Time t-shirt. Let everyone know you are heading to the woods for your Woods Time. There's also a link to my Etsy shop. There's some bits and pieces over there, including my leather logo patches. The woven ones are inbound, as are my next batch of Forester water filter bags. There's a few other bits and pieces coming up, but as you can appreciate, it's the summer season. It's very, very busy. I've also got to try and fit in a family holiday as well. I guess it's like I'm coming home to roost, and that means it's time for me to head home. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.